Welcome to my channel, LB Plans. My name is Elle, and today I am going to do an overview of my 2023 planner systems. These are the planners that I've used for the entire year of 2023. I want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, what worked for me, what did not work for me, and the changes that I plan to make in 2024. If this type of content interests you, stay tuned for more. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with the planner that changed the most, that I've recently adapted more frequently, but wasn't an original lineup planner. And this is my budget planner, which is a cloth and paper grid notebook. I house it in this Notique cover. Um, in full transparency, the only thing I actually like about the cover is the color. I purchased this a couple years ago from Notique, and I did kind of have a buyer's remorse. It's nothing against the product itself. It's just the things that bother only certain people, I guess. And it's that the actual book size, the cover size is actually bigger than anything that's A5, which is great. And actually, it's just the reason why I am using this for this particular cover, because it's the only cover that I have that will allow for these rings and close gently. So the fact that it's oversized works for this, but for anything else, it kind of drove me crazy if it was a book bound book system. So let me open that up so it doesn't glare too much. Nothing really much to share. If you've seen a couple of my budget with me videos, then you know that I kind of freehand or bullet journal my budget. I am starting to work on my January layout. So, and I am kind of like fully embracing the Buju. I said that wrong. I am fully embracing the bullet journal style. So, I kind of set up first quarter just a little bit. This paper is very good quality paper. I can't find a pen that I really don't like on this paper, just because it is not the Tomoe River paper. It is very solid. And so this allows me to write in whatever I have going on. So like, for example, I still owe on my son's sinus surgery to the hospital itself, but I'm in a payment plan and it's going to automatically come off my HSA. So as it come out, I check it out. So things like that, it just allows me this free form. And I like that because I have not found a budget journal that meets my needs. And the best thing that I can do right now is kind of create it, but I will take this into 2024. It's working. If it's not broke, I'm not going to try to fix it. And like I said, I can add to it as I need to and make it work for me. So this is my cloth and paper grid book, which I'm using as a bullet journal. Next up is my Estelle A5 undated planner. Now, I'm not for sure. I think this was the weekly planner. I'm going to look at it and see. I have to pull out the cover. As you can see, it is in my, it's the weekly classic. It is in a Moterm cover. This is the plus cover. If you ever want to know if you have a plus cover or not, plus has 2 buttons because it's actually longer, wider, but it does not fit that spiral notebook. Nothing does. So I'm not going to do that on camera because that's just too much. But this is the Estelle. I use this for my work notebook. There's not much that I can, my work planner, excuse me, but there's not much that I can actually show you in here because of the things that I do write in it. That information is not shareable to the world. So, but one thing that I did use is kind of the monthly grid thing. I don't know. I use this to track my PTO time because I have so much PTO and I have to use it, and I have floating holidays, and I use it to track this. But you'll see I also track PTO in another planner. So it was kind of duplicative for me. Just so you know, this is the planner that has the 2 columns. If you can see that. It's 2 columns here. And so I tried to originally work within that. let's look at the monthlies first. So monthlies, I just kind of high level put information out here. Things that I needed to know, people off, things like that. But I didn't find much use for it, mainly because I do use my Outlook calendar a lot. And so transferring some of the information from the Outlook over was kind of annoying. The things that I really needed to know was if it was a day that I had to be in the office or if someone else wasn't in the office that I could look at quick at a glance. And if I needed to be aware or be anywhere for something, I needed that so I don't have to log in just to see that information. I struggled with a lot of different layouts. I tried doing the columns, didn't like it. I didn't like it. Didn't like it. And then as I got to a little bit more current, I found what worked. Now I want to say I've been using this layout since, let's see when this is, September. And this is, so it took from January to September for me to find my jam, and this is it. And I went ahead and finished out the month for December because this is what just worked with me. So I was able to kind of list out here, and I think I got this idea from This Well Planned Life with Siobhan, where she kind of listed, like highlighted here what she had on her schedule if it had a time block, and then I would put task here that I need to complete, and this was my notes section. So if I had a call and I had notes to go with it, or am I working on a particular topic, I believe this is called the Cornell Notes format, and so that just worked for me, and I just stuck with it, and I'm gonna stick with it for the rest of the year. It was a lot, and so I had a lot of note pages that I was writing notes, and I think that's what kind of messed me up. My notes were so far away from the week that I couldn't kind of make heads or tails of it sometimes. So I will be finishing up this planner, and it will be going on my shelf, and I probably will archive the actual cover and put it in its sleeve, and I don't see me using this again, but it takes time. Sometimes, guys, like, you have to really try different layouts. If you're going to do something that is a bullet journal style, it takes different reiterations, different views, different everything until you find what works. So this is what is currently working for me, but because of the layout and me going to a one book system for 2024, there will be a dramatic change in how I handle my work planner going forward. Okay. All right. The planner that gave me the most trouble. This is the Hobonichi Cousin. I died for this planner. Like, I couldn't wait to get one of these. This was my very first Hobonichi Cousin. I didn't like the color of the cover, so what I did is I took some vinyl and I cut it down to size, and I just put it on the inside here. It's actually stuck to it, so if I took this off, the vinyl would still be on it. I did put the cover on it just because I originally was using an Estelle cover for both my Hobonichi Cousin and my A5 Wonderland, which they were working in there, but I don't know. I didn't feel the need for the cover anymore, so I just kind of archived it. So in the beginning, the tracker worked really well for me. I did enjoy the tracker. I didn't have much use for some of that, but I did enjoy the tracker. But more currently, or let's say towards the end of July, like I said, August was tough for me. In September, I tried to pick myself back up, but it was a lot going on. I did not do a very good job keeping up with my trackers. The monthly section, the bad part, I think, for this planner for me Even though the intent behind this planner was for it to be a wellness planner, I found it very odd. And I know a lot of planners do this, but for me it's just odd that the months and the weeks are separated. The days don't bother me so much because it's okay, but the months and the weeks being in their own little silos just kind of, I don't know, made it out of sight of out of mind type situation for me. So I did put tabs on the months, and then I put tabs. Do I have 3 sets of tabs? No, I did not tab the month because it didn't make sense. I tabbed the weeks, and I realized that a lot of the stuff that I was kind of writing in here was okay, but then it just kind of got really duplicative, and I just didn't see a need. And so somewhere around July, I really fell off. Like, I tried to kind of keep it simple, but I just really fell off when it came to using this. And I'm still kind of fell off the chain. So I didn't have much use for the weeks because I had another planner. So I didn't see the purpose of the weekly. And I think it's because the weeks are separated from the month. What I'm used to is the month, week, and day kind of, or the month and the week together. So I felt like it was more of a second thought. I like, oh, let me go put something in there. And that's what I did. Like, look, this is next week. Like, nothing. And yeah, so I'm going to use the rest of these weeks to kind of practice because it's very similar to the new planner setup that I have for 2024 for the whiffs and things. So I'm going to play with that. But for the most part, did not enjoy the weeklies. Now, the dailies, it was hit or miss in the beginning. And I have some flip throughs, and I'll probably do an end of the year flip through. But in the beginning, it was great. What I didn't like overall was any type of stickers that is on like a matte white paper. Like if I were to pick this up, like you can tell that the center of this is the thinnest, but the top and the bottom, because it's just gonna chunk it up, right? It makes it bulky. And I come to realize it's the sticker paper is so thick. Now, if you use like a washi sticker paper, like this is a washi sticker, like one of these little stickers here, washi paper sticker. Notice how it kind of just bends easily. Whereas if it's one of these, it's more stiffer and it's thicker. So I don't like the paper. I don't like the sticker paper in this. And because the dailies were here and the weeklies were there, when I went to go back to write on the weeks, in the beginning, when you have a fresh book, you don't see the issue because there's not much there and you can just kind of write in with no problem. But as the months progress, trying to write on the left side, you see that? That's a problem. You see how thick it is to the top? And if I'm trying to write up here, I would have problems with it. So yeah, I didn't enjoy that too much. I am kind of getting my way back into it. I didn't always use the blank page. I'm glad that it's there, but I didn't use it as much as I thought I was going to use it. I guess for multiple reasons. But it's kind of hit or miss. I did enjoy the journaling piece of it. But yeah, there was just too much. Okay. As that card just went by. I kind of made my own quarterly overview, but I didn't keep up with it. So go figure. These little 4 pages in the back was just like, what, just you, yeah, I don't, okay. Timetable. Another thing I struggled to keep up with is words to remember. Just any word that I wanted the full definition of. I need to go ahead and fill out grief and discipline. But, and then there's another word, but it was okay. Check off list. I think about it every couple days and I go back and do it. So I wish I would have had more blank pages, but I did not. So, yeah, I just I didn't it didn't live up to what I thought it was going to live up, and that is possibly my fault because like I said, I just kind of jumped in and went all gung-ho with the stickers and the dailies and everything, and it just created these bumps here. If I were to use the Hobonichi again, I would definitely use it as a more of a functional and not deco because it was just out of pocket. I don't know. It's just I'm only picking it back up because I want to kind of finish it. I want to start what I finished, but other than that, it was a no for me. I had high hopes for it because I even brought this after I purchased my Wonderland. Because I was like, just buy the planner. You're gonna keep obsessing about it, and that's what I did, and just it didn't give me the feels that I wanted it to give. Now, when it comes to my Wonderland, and this is where I talked about where I was doing my PTO in my work planner, but I was also keeping it here, and I kept up with it more here because I was only not only keeping up with my PTO, my husband days off, my kids out of school, like important testing dates and things are very important. I would mark it in here, so I plan to use that in my 2024 planner because that's just a better place for it to be. I have in the quarterly, we'll talk about my setup of how I'm going to handle the quarterlies for the next year. But because if you don't know, I'm using I'm going back to Wonderland. It will be my third year in a Wonderland, and I'm just going to keep the party going. The bills, add in, don't need it, won't do it again. Self-care reminders was cool to have. I couldn't find much to track here when I had, because my last planner, I used the trackers for wellness. And so then I tried to use it for bills, but it was kind of all over the place. So I'll go back to using it for wellness once I be in the one planner. And then here we go with the holiday calendar I kind of tipped in. Now, if you notice, like I said with the Hobonichi, had I just used clear stickers, like on this calendar, this is a matte, clear, transparent, whatever you want to call it, sticker paper. And it's still flexible and it doesn't bulk up as much as the white paper does. So I just like the white paper here. It just, you can feel like, I know you guys can't feel it, but the thickness of this, because I had it back to back, was just kind of part of the problem. And it made the front of the planner kind of thick, which worked in my favor, I guess, as I used more sticker paper. But I guess for me, my goal is just to kind of stay away from the matte and just stick with the transparent paper. Because as long as it's like a washi paper or a transparent, it's very thin and you don't have many issues. One of the things I did struggle with in this planner consistently is having a purpose for the beginning of the planner. So this would say like January overview and then January review. I kind of switched back and forth with that on what type of information I had there. I think I got a little bit more consistent towards the end, and I have a good idea of what I'm going to do for 2024 in that Wonderland planner. But it's not as thick. Interesting enough, right? It's not as thick as the Hobonichi. One, because there's not, 370 daily pages in the back with stickers all over it. So one could say that that might change once I use the all-in-one planner. But I did use more journaling kits and I use more transparent just because there's not many kits formatted for the Stack Weekend A5. So it seemed to work better for me if I used a journaling kit. And because it was a journaling kit, I had better options of finding them that were transparent than it was the sticker paper. So I think that played a role into it too. let's see, the back of the planner. So I did index, I took the index page from out the front and I put it in the back. I made a better purpose of it here. I logged my planner expenses, which I need to do a couple more updates. I need to finish these things that I started for each kind of kid here. Different birthdays. Like, I enjoy having the back pages, and I just kind of like stick stuff in here that works for us. Like, it's Christmas, but like Thanksgiving. Kind of the layout of Thanksgiving, you know, what we're eating, who's coming, and I'm going to write a blurb here. I do like having this type of option in the back, so I do have to figure out how am I going to make this work with not having so many pages that I could do whatever with, because that's also going to be my dailies, but I also don't plan to daily plan, if that makes sense. So these are my main two planners. Oh my God, just looking at them side by side, you could just see it's just got out of control. But I think having one out of control will just work better than having two out of control. And I'm excited for the changes that I'm making in 2024 and going full speed with the Wonderland. Full disclosure, I wish Wonderland would have kept the stacked weekends and just added the 370 pages in the back. That's a preference. I know they can't meet everyone's needs. I don't write small. So to try to work in that, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. And I think that was one of the things I love most about the Wonderland was the column widths. And it pushed me to be a little bit more creative in my planning and what I use to actually decorate my planner with. I am making changes to accommodate the Wonderland new sections widths, the column widths, and it's going to be fine because I'm sticking with one book. So y'all wish me luck on this journey because I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try. And if it doesn't work, you know, I can always buy another one, Hobonichi, and no. So more to come on my planner setup. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions for me, leave them down below until I do my setup video. You guys take care. Bye.